Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I should let you know that at the time of filming, I haven't worked out what the title of this video is going to be yet. I don't know if we're going to call it cycling no-nos, do's and don'ts for new cycling in a modern era, or modern cycling ride etiquette. But whatever we've decided to call it, it obviously worked because you're here watching it. Now, while I do not know what we're going to call the video, I certainly know what we're going to talk about. And that's the fact that in a modern group ride situation, we are certainly starting to feel the influence of society. I mean, social media interactions has affected cycling the same way how it's affected all other aspects of our society. Back in the old times, I showed up to rides for the workout, the challenge, the miles, and basically to get flogged. Society was very different then, and filming, selfies, or post-ride group ride pics were not a thing. We also did not have white cycling shorts. Haha, who would have thunk that? So it seems like everyone wants to do big, fast, and long group rides. Yes, the vibe is fun, and the safety in numbers is undeniable. The problem is, while your fitness may be up to par to do those long, fast, big group rides, maybe your cycling skill could take a little bit of brushing up or improvement. So in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about some of the things that I've seen in modern Paceline or modern group rides that give me pause for concern. And then I'm going to talk about the things that we can do to improve those skills. So number one on my list of no-nos is the Paceline selfie. I have witnessed this a few times, most recently where in a Paceline, somebody grabbed their phone in the middle of us going 21, 22 miles an hour to start taking a selfie, and they weren't just focusing on capturing an image of themselves. They also wanted to capture the person directly behind them. They're moving around trying to get in a frame. They're not paying attention to what's going on in front of them. They're swaying a little bit, and it just created one of the most egregious safety things that I have seen on group rides in a long time. So keep the picture taken and the selfies for post-ride, or get yourself a GoPro where you can capture the images, or an Insta360 camera like the one I have. If you want to make sure that you get a front view capture of yourself and others, that's a perfect way of being able to do that. The next group ride etiquette in the modern peloton is being able to grab your water bottle and take a drink. I found that a lot of cyclists, new cyclists, really struggle with this, and what it really is evidence that, again, you may have the fitness, but you don't have the command and control of your bike, because being able to grab your water bottle while the group is going along to take a swag is something that is kind of fundamental to a person with good cycling skills and a person that is comfortable riding in a group setting. So it's one of those things where if you're not comfortable with that, maybe move yourself towards the back of the group, take a drink, which is something that most people should do anyway, if you're not really comfortable with the whole idea of being able to reach down and grab it. But the other problem that rears up with that is that if you only wait to drink while we stop at a light, and you're like 10 minutes past due your hydration point, and you're making sure that you get all the electrolytes in, the light changes, then you got to put the bottle in, get your hands on the bar, make sure that you're clipped in, ready to go. And by the time you do all of that, the group is up the road, and now you're leaving a very big gap for yourself and everybody who stayed behind you to be able to close. So work on that skill of being able to control your bike while still taking a drink. Next on my list of no-nos is swerving. I've covered this in previous videos, but I'm going to cover it again, and I've got to emphasize that when you swerve unexpectedly, you startle the cyclists around you. Nobody really expects swerving. Now, either maybe somebody didn't point out, or maybe you weren't paying attention, there was a pothole or manhole cover or a twig, and you felt the need to swerve excessively. It just puts people behind you in a bad spot, because now they're going to react to you, not even reacting to what you're reacting to, and that can be a very adverse reaction. So maybe learn how to bunny hop. Or if that's a little bit too much for you, learn how to use your elbows and your shoulders, your knees and your hips as shock absorbers, so that you can take a little bit of the weight off of the bike as you go over some of these obstacles. That's an important cycling skill to master, but swerving, big no-no. Next on my list is excessive and unexpected braking. On a ride on Saturday, we had a cyclist who was hitting his brakes really, really hard at times. You could tell he was a little bit uncomfortable with the whole idea of being in a fast group ride, maybe over anticipating what might have happened in front of him. So he was overreacting to things that were not even taking place. So I'm going to talk to you about some of the things that you can do to mitigate that, but you need to be aware that if you're a over enthusiastic breaker, that's something that you've got to work on. Wow, Lewis, that list was about as much fun as a stick in the mud. Well, I wasn't trying to have fun with it. I really wanted to point out some of those issues that can have a profound effect on our cycling. But now I'm going to talk about the things that I think you can and should do to be able to improve your cycling etiquette. First thing that you should do is you should get coached on group riding. If you don't know how, or if you're fairly new, again, you may be fit and be able to keep up with the group, but your skill may be off. So get coached either by watching videos on how to group ride better so that you can understand what the etiquette is, why we do the things that we do. Don't just go out and buy a bunch of expensive stuff and kit and then jump on a bike and start riding, or getting peer pressured by your friends to show up to group rides just because they're doing it. Make sure you get skilled. Which, number 2, is do slower, smaller group rides until your skill level improves. Again, you might be like, I'm bored out of my mind on this ride because it's slower than I think I can ride. Well, the ride may be slower than you think you can ride, but make sure that you use those rides early on as an opportunity to improve your group riding skill and etiquette, to learn the things that you need to do. Heck, if you're that strong that you're bored on that type of ride, go to the front and pull the group and learn how to do that properly before you start jumping into more advanced, faster group rides. I got to tell you this. The cyclists that you find on fast group rides that are very experienced, if you do something really messed up, you're more likely to screw yourself up than to screw those guys up. Because very experienced cyclists, they see the nonsense coming a mile away and they know to get away from it. So now just be mindful of that. It's in your best interest to learn the skills that you've got to learn so that you can become a good cyclist. Next, dial in your fit. A lot of the fits that I see people have is like their initial fit, which is great for like casual riding and stuff because like you're really upright. And when you're really upright on a fast group ride and you're not able to get down there and get aero or get efficient, one of the things that you're doing is, I'm not saying everybody's got to be stretched out pro style. Some people are just going to have an upright cycling position. But what you want is you want to evenly distribute your weight on the bike properly. This helps with your cornering. This helps with you being able to scooch up on the saddle for acceleration and things like that. And it just gives you a better control of the bike than if you're sitting too upright, where the wind hits you and it has an effect on the way how you respond to the wind input on your body. You got to dial in your fit or work on your fit on the bike for when you're riding in fast group rides. And last on my list is learn how to use your gears properly. I get a lot of questions about, hey, when are you going to do a cycling video on cadence and gearing? And it's one of those things that it's hard to do a video about because it really is specialized based on the ride, the terrain, the speed, pace, size of the group, that it's really kind of hard for me to talk about it in a general sense. I have touched on it in different videos, but it's something that along with getting coached or doing slower, smaller rides until you improve your skill, that's a great opportunity to work on your cadence. Ask somebody about your cadence to make sure that you're managing the right cadence for the right pace and the right type of terrain that you're going over. So that's my list of things that you should definitely not do and some things that you can do to improve your etiquette in the modern peloton. I got to emphasize the big one though is that Paceline Selfie. Let's make sure if we don't stop doing anything else that we stop doing that one because of the obvious and potential danger that it can present. So I'd like to hear from you. What are the things that you've noticed in modern group rides or in group rides nowadays that you're like, man, that sure is a lot sketchier and different than the way we did things in the past? Let us know in the comment section below. And as a reminder, on November 12th, we have Cafecito con Lou 3 coming up. All ride details are on the flyer. You can also follow me on my social media just to be updated on any changes or any things that may be going on with the ride. I'm telling you, man, we have a great time. It's not a hard ride. We roll between 21, 22 control pace, double pace line. We come off the corners and off the lights really slow and chill so that we don't get crazy surges. We go have some coffee, get to know somebody that you otherwise may not have had the opportunity to ride with. And it's just a a nice chill vibe. So yeah, we'd love to have you if you're in town. So thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate you guys watching, sharing, commenting. All the support that the channel has been getting has been amazing. In the next video, I'm going to do an update of what's been going on with me and my intermittent fasting. And I've got a couple more ride interviews that I'm very excited about. One of them is a person who basically went from not being a cyclist to being a state champ in like 2.5 years. Awesome content that I'm really looking forward to sharing with you guys. All right. I think I said everything that I wanted to say. As always, our aim here at the channel is to inform, instruct, inspire. Be blessed.